Is IELTS really necessary? I was told to do a PreMaster. What is the foundation year? What type of reference letter do I need? How long should my SOP be? In this video, I'm going to be answering some of those questions and more concerning application to the UK as an international student. So if you've been wondering about the answers to these questions and want to know more about course application to UK universities, then please keep on watching.
Everybody know I'm a visual. Yeah, I kill it cold like a criminal. I'm everybody's type, but nobody can deny. Yes, you know I get it, I'm getting freaky. Yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky on, get that freaky on. Get it right, get it.
Hi guys, my name is Amomi, aka Petite Diva, and I am a University of Nottingham alumni and also a Developing Solutions Scholarship Award winner. In this educational series, I talk about the UK admission process, I talk about the UK visa application process, I talk about tips and tricks on how to enjoy your stay in the UK, and I also talk about tips and tricks on how to earn more money as an international student. So if you like videos such as these, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to remind you that I offer some UK educational services, and those services include SOP writing, academic CV writing, to boost your chances of getting an admission, and also the UK admission package. Now, the UK admission package comprises of me curating courses and schools that best fit you based on your educational background and work experience. I would also write your SOP and academic CV and also help with the application process. Now, I have 3 different packages, so if you want to contact me, please check the description box for my email address, or you can also join the Telegram group and send me a private message. If you are not a member of the group, you are missing. There we share courses that you can apply for, schools that are open for admission, schools that give offer letter quickly. Like some days ago, some people shared the schools that have given them admission, and some people also applied to those schools and got their admission. Now, if they were not in the Telegram group, they might not have known about it, because some of the other Telegram groups are specific for different schools. Mine is just for everybody, and it's supposed to help people get admission and so that you can be in the UK by 2023. So if you want to be a part of that community, please check the description box for the link to the Telegram group. And if you want to use my services, you can also check my email in the description box, and you can also join the Telegram group and then send me a private message. Now let's get into this video. Now, this video is going to be a Q&A type of video, so I'll ask the question and I'll answer it. Get it? Get it. Now, the first one is IELTS necessary? IELTS is not necessary. That is the International English Language Testing System test, whatever they call it. It's not really necessary in a lot of schools, but it depends on what English proficiency test that you have. Now, most schools will accept WAEC, but now the grade that they will accept differs in different schools. For some schools, they will say they accept from C6 and above. Some schools will say C5 and above. Now, for Hall says C5 for WAEC, and they don't accept NECO. Some other schools will say they accept WAEC and NECO, but you must have from C6 and above. Now, for T-side accepts NECO and WAEC, but for WAEC they accept from C6 and above, but for NECO they accept from C5 and above. So it's different schools with different criteria, with different grade that they accept for WAEC, or even might not accept NECO. Now, for BEBEC, they don't accept WAEC or NECO at all, so you have to do the IELTS. Now, for University of Stirling, they accept WAEC, but they have a clause And that clause is that your bachelor's degree must not be older than 5 years. If it is older than 5 years before you apply, then you have to do the IELTS. So every school has their own criteria. You just have to check the English language requirement before applying, so that you don't get the offer and then be told to write the test. Now, for me, I don't see it as a problem if you're told to write the test. You write the test, you get your result, you send it to them and get your unconditional offer. Right now, there are a lot of people applying to the UK for a UK master's program and undergraduate program. So if you get an offer and your only clause is the test, please write it, get it, because if you snooze, you lose. The next question is, what type of reference do I need? Most schools will want an academic reference. That's a reference letter or reference form filled by your academic, an academic personnel. That means you're a lecturer in your school or your lecturer that taught you. That is what most would prefer. But there are some people that have been out of school for like 10 years and not in contact with their lecturers. So they will also accept professional reference. But some schools will be specific that they just want academic reference. Now, if they are going to send emails to your reference, they will also prefer that they have like a company email. That's like the school email. But they will accept other emails, or they will accept other non-company emails. But like I said, it always depends on the school. Now, for some schools, they are not really concerned about contacting them through the email. So they just say you should upload a reference letter. Now, it's not going to be reference letter written on anyhow paper. It has to be letter-headed. So the paper has to be letter-headed, and it also has to be signed. So they would write it or preferably type on a letter-headed paper, sign, then scan, then you upload. So that is the type of reference letter that they accept. The next question is, what should be the length of my SOP? How many words should I write? Now, the length of SOPs usually varies depending on schools. Some schools will tell you that you should only write SOP that is less than 5,000 characters. Some will tell you that you can write minimum of 100 words. Some will tell you that you should write an SOP less than 4,000 characters. So it must not be more than 4,000 characters. It must not be more than 5,000 characters. Now, for example, Manchester Metropolitan University has a limit of 4,000 characters. Now, there are some schools like NTU, that's Nottingham Trent University, that it is actually allowed to write less than 4,000 characters. There's a space when you're filling the form, it is less than 4,000 characters. So it should not be more than 4,000 characters. But they have the allowance for people that want to write more than 4,000 characters. So they will tell you that if you have a statement of purpose that is more than 4,000 characters, you can upload it as a Word document. So some schools do that. Some schools don't even have space for characters or anything. They just tell you to upload your personal statement. Now, for those kind of schools that allow you to upload your personal statement, you can do between 800 to 1,000, or some people say between 600 to 800 or 600 to 900. Me, when I'm writing for people, most of my SOPs are between 700 to 900 or 1,000, depending on the experience of the person, depending on the achievement of the person. Now, for someone that has maybe published his or her undergraduate research, I'm definitely going to talk about it, so I'm not going to skip it because that is a plus to the person. So it might be longer than an average person that just came out of school and is still serving, because you really don't have a lot of experience. But we just have to talk about your experience in school and your achievement in school. So basically that is what the SOP is supposed to look like. The length of the SOP is supposed to look like. The point of SOP is to sell yourself. So you should not do less than 500 or 600 words. I don't know what you're going to say in 200 words. I just remember that University of Plymouth actually has a limit to the length of your SOP, and it's a very small limit. It is 400. So they advise that you write between 250 words to 400. And I'm like, 250? What are you going to say? Any which way, that is all about length of SOP. Now, this question is from the undergraduate people I've seen, and they are concerned about the term called foundation year. Now, if you are from Africa or an international student that doesn't have A levels, and you have WAEC or NECO, if it is allowed, but most of the time I see WAEC, you are allowed to apply for the undergraduate program, but you're not going to start from year one. What happens is that you start from foundation year. Now, during the foundation year, they teach English and then some subjects that are related to your main undergraduate degree. Now, the cost of the foundation year is almost similar to the cost of your undergraduate degree program, but it's not as much. It's almost similar, but not as much, because it's just like less than 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. So if your undergraduate degree fees is 18,000 for a year, you're probably going to pay like 15,000 or 14,000 for the foundation year, and that means that you are going to be in school for 4 years as against 3 years. In the UK, most undergraduate degrees are 3 years. If you see a 4-year course, it's because maybe it has placement year. So if you are doing that kind of course, it means you're going to stay in the UK for 5 years as a student, as an undergraduate student, and then that means you're paying your school fees for 5 years. So most of the time, that is what happens if you just have a WAEC or NECO and not A level that would allow you to go to year one. If you have a higher national diploma in Africa or Nigeria, you might not get a master's in some schools. Now, some schools will tell you that you can either do a PreMasters. So you do the PreMasters, which is like the foundation year. If you do the exam, if you pass, you can now proceed to the master's program, and then you pay another money for the master's program. Now, with PreMasters, I don't think you can bring your family. So it's until you become a master's student before you can bring your family to the UK. Now, another allowance for those that have HND is to join the undergraduate program. So because you have a higher national diploma, you can enter year 2 or year 3 of the undergraduate program, depending on your CGPA that you had during your HND. So that is some of the things you might get when applying to some schools. If you say you want to apply for masters, they might tell you go for PreMasters, or might tell you to join the undergraduate program. Then the next question is, can I work more than 20 hours during term time? I've answered this question. I've told you the consequences of doing more than 20 hours, of working more than 20 hours during term time, and some of you still are insistent on doing it. Well, if you are in my Telegram group, you know that I shared a video of an Indian student that was deported because he was working more than 20 hours per week during term time. Now, he had traveled out of the UK and was coming back, and then they started searching him and then checked his whole digital footprint through his NIN. They knew where he was working and all the hours that he had spent, and from airport back home. So it shows that even if Home Office doesn't get you, another agency can get you, and they are within their rights to get you. So to be forewarned is to be forearmed. I don't talk my own. The next question is, can I apply without my transcript? Now, for some schools, it might be allowed because they expect your transcript to come directly from your school, not you uploading it. Some other schools will accept your application, but we give you a time frame to upload your transcript. Now, if you don't upload your transcript within that time frame, you might lose your application and have to apply all over again when you have your transcript. So you have to research on the schools And then some schools might also give you an admission if you are doing like an advanced program of your undergraduate program. So something like if you're doing international relations for your master's degree, and you already did international relations or diplomacy or something for your undergrad, then they're going to know, okay, this is something she would have learned, this is something, then they'll accept it. But if you're changing careers or changing degree focus, they might want to see your transcript just to have an idea of your capabilities. So it depends on if you can get an admission without your transcript. It depends on the school, basically. The next question and the last question is, can I apply with my expired international passport? And for most schools, yes, but you'll be required to submit a new one before you can get an unconditional offer. And you have to be very careful if you are like submitting for January intake and your passport is not yet out. And you know the time frame for January intake is very, very short. You need to submit your new passport very, very early so that you can start doing all the processing, visa and the rest very, very early, so that you can at least be in the UK by December. So if you want to take that risk of submitting an application with an expired passport, your new passport must almost be ready before you do that. Not you have not even started the process. I'm talking to Nigerians in this case, because you know how getting a passport is in Nigeria. So best to make plans for your passport before even applying. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you liked it. I hope it answered some of your questions. If you have more questions, please leave it in the comment section and I'll be sure to answer it in the comment section. Or if I want to make a video, I will make a video addressing that question. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.